Hello and welcome to this channel. Today I want to show you a night in an astronomer's life with data collection. So this is basically I'm in a control room. So this is how the control room looks like. Let me show you in brief. That computer there, which is blue, and that computer there should be working. They have just went off like a few minutes ago, but those are the ones that show like the weather conditions, if they are conducive for observation or not. This is personal on the laptop, and yeah, these are the observation desktops or the observation computers. So what happens is the telescope is on the top, and this is where the observation is, or basically the signals are sent from the telescope that is on top to down here, the control room where the data is collected. Like this is where I collect the data depending on the time that you have set to collect the data. Let me save this, then I continue. Like now for my case, I should be observing that desktop to be able to see when the weather condition has become unfavorable for the desktop, for the telescope, and for observation. And as I look at the weather conditions, this is where I collect the data from. So the data is collected in form of images. The images are called fixed images. So what we do is we set this telescope to collect the image at a certain time. Like for my case, it's 50 seconds. So after every 50 seconds, there is an image that is collected. Like if you take your computer, like your phone, and you set it to like capture an image, and you set it to have an exposure time, we call it exposure time, for like 3 seconds. So it will concentrate on that image for like 3 seconds, then it will collect that data. So let me save this. 50 seconds are already over. So after every 50 seconds, I should save the image that is collected. And this is what we call astronomical data. It's collected in form of images, and then you do what we call data processing so that you can be able to obtain the data or the information from those images. So this is basically how the image looks like. So yeah, this is an image of how it looks like. So this is an image of the way it's collected. So I think I'll collect, I think at this point I'll shoot it with my phone, and it's extremely like super cold. So that means you have to keep warm. Let me record this up close with my phone. So like this is the first desktop for data collection, and this is the position of the image of the telescope where it's pointing at. So this is like the sky view, and these are showing where like the sunlight is appearing, meaning like there is no data that can be collected beyond these points. So this is where the telescope position is at. You can see it's like totally dark around it, meaning that you can actually collect the data of the stars in this region. So whenever you change like the object, the target that you want to collect, or the region that you want to collect data in, when you change it, the telescope actually moves. I think I'll attach a section of where I moved like this image. We were first observing an image that was on this side, then we moved the telescope, and it moves so well. Oh, we can first align it, then I can go take my dinner. You just need to collect it.
Okay. It is also a single skin or kinetic?
Single.
Single.
Yeah.
And the exposure time is 50.
So my data is collected. So this is the image where like the position of the telescope, and this is where we collect the data. So let me first save this because 50 seconds are already over. So like after every 50 seconds we have to save the image. So what happens is, like, this is where you specify the region. This region now that is pointed at in this desktop is where you specify the position. So this is the position in relation to the telescope, and its relation or coordinates. Now, yeah, the sky coordinates of this object are here. So yeah, so what you do is, this is the actually like the sky position where this telescope is showing. This is the sky, how the sky is appearing, or the images, the stars that are appearing in the sky. So what we do, you set a timer. For our case, we've set it at 50 seconds, meaning like after every 50 seconds we have to capture the data that has been collected. And when you look at this percentage here, there's a percentage here. So what we do is, so let me show you in the next one, because this one has already finished. So we first save the one that has been that we collected, then I show you how we collect the next one. So this is 229. So this is what we do. So you come here, there is an object that looks like camera, so you set it, meaning like it's capturing like a camera, it operates like camera. Because we've set it at 50 seconds, so it will be showing here the percentage of the what has been acquired. So this is in relation to how many seconds you put, and these are the degrees of the coolant of this telescope. So when it gets to 100%, it means that it has collected the data for this section that the telescope is pointing. So you have to save it. So let's wait until it gets to 100. So it's now at 70, and it goes on like this until it gets to 100. Then it is automatically like captures. So you have to save when it gets to 100. So it's there, the 86, 97, 98, 99, 100. So after 100, until it finishes, so yeah, it has turned. Then what we see is that this green section here, this section here has turned green, meaning it's clickable and you can save this. So we now save it with the name that we want to save, and mostly we save it according to the region that we are collecting. So the place where the telescope is pointing is called Bucket 87. So you just save it. So my number now is the last one was 229, so this one will be 230, meaning like I have taken 230 images. After every 30 seconds I have taken 230 images, and this is the image that has been collected. But during data analysis, actually this image, like you clean it up, like we remove so many things, and then we check for the signals of all these images that I will have collected throughout this night. So yeah, this is the image that has been recorded. So we save it, we've saved it, so we close here, and then we instruct it again from the camera to collect. So like after every 50 seconds, this is actually what we have to do. Like we have to collect the image that has been collected. Yeah, like we have to save it. So that is what we basically call data collection. This is in optical, an optical telescope, but there are a lot of different telescopes. There are radio telescopes. Those, their operations are a bit different. Yeah, and this is basically the whole night you have to be up if the weather conditions are okay. So the whole night you have to be up and looking. Like after every 50 seconds you have to save it. Yeah, and I just got tired. I was starting to get sleepy. Then I decided, oh, let me just record this for my memories, and also to send to my family, and also to send to people to just see. Why can't I just show people how this is done? I'll actually show the telescope and how the telescope is, because the telescope is actually, let me first save this. So this is 231. So the telescope is usually like in a house. So like they build a house for the telescope. I'll show like the telescope house, and inside that telescope house that there is the part where the telescope is, and it's usually positioned in a place in such a way that the roof that is on top of where the telescope is can actually move to like leave the telescope standing and be able to observe, because we make observations of the sky, so we don't need anything to obstruct this telescope from seeing. So, and because we also don't want the telescope to be affected by rain, hot sun, and any weather changes, so that is why it's like built it is put in a building basically. So when you start like taking the data, the roof is moved, so the telescope is left alone, like stand alone, so that it can view the sky. Let me first say this. I talk too much, you guys. Why do I talk too much? But I'm actually enjoying it because I was starting to feel sleepy. So so that the top there is a section of the telescope, and there is the section of control room, this one now, where like the signal, it's connected to the telescope, where when the telescope observes, it sends the signals down to this control room. And when weather conditions are not favorable, or someone has been allocated like several nights to make observation, then there are usually rooms, so you don't have to like wonder to where you are going to reside over the night. So there are usually rooms, like for this one they have 2 rooms, one for ladies and one for gents, and each room has 2 beds. Yeah, so in case you're more than one person who is allocated in the telescope, then you can be there. And in each telescope there is usually allocated a technical assistant who will always help with the data collection, yeah, or with the operation of the telescope, because sometimes it becomes hectic, and especially for a first timer it can be a bit challenging to know how to go about everything, so they are there to help. So yes, basically that is what a night of an astronomer looks like in data collection. So yeah, they also have a sofa somewhere where you can relax during the day if you have several nights. So during the day you can relax there. They have a kitchen where you can cook your things if you want, as you wait for the night to come so that you can observe this. So I'll actually wait for the technician to come, so that when this desktop is on, I can show you how the weather conditions are and show you how they are done. And let me actually concentrate on collecting these images or data. So we save this. You know what time it is? I find myself eating too much when I have to be up all night. So actually, my object is in view. It's 1 hour 36 minutes in view, and it should be in view up to plus 4 hours. Minus 4 hours? Plus 4 hours. So it's now at 1.5 hours, meaning that I have up to 4 hours. That is 2.5 hours to make observation, and it's now 2:32. So plus 1.5 hours, that is half 3, 4, 5. So 2.5 hours, that is actually 5. So I have to be up until 5, and if these desktops were operating, so after 5, like, that is when we have to make different kinds of observations, which we call the twilight, like when the sun is just like about to rise. The sky is usually like so uniformly illuminated, so we have to take observation for that time also. So like basically you are up all night until 6 probably. That's when you have to sleep.
One thing you do, you have to fill feedback form for
I have to fill?
Yeah.
Where do I fill?
For yesterday night or today night. So go to Aries website and 1.3 default this telescope after feedback.
Okay, so where do I go?
Down or down? Yeah, 1.3 default. Name of our telescope 1.3.
Oh, the person who was assigned for that night has to give a feedback of what they did.
Alright.
Okay, let me open it. Where is it?
You can fill from your laptop also. Feedback.
Feedback. Name of observer.
Feedback.
Email address, total observing hours. So total observing hours is the time that we were able
Yeah, we
to.
observed.
So we exclude the hours that there was humidity.
Yeah, you exclude that hours.
Will I remember?
For yesterday night, you wrote 5 hours or 6 hours.
Oh, the only time remaining was only 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. I never thought I can be awake the whole night up to 4. My
If it's possible, I'll take the flats in the morning. If it is possible.
goodness. Okay.
I think. Because the humidity is increasing. I don't think so.
So I think we can close it now.
Yeah.
And let me save this the last one. Today the skies were a bit clear. We've been able to collect 302 frames plus the first object, which we collected like 22 frames. That was a good one for today. Yeah. So this,
Yeah.
I just. Oh yeah. So now the temperatures, no, the humidity is so high, it's showing 83, but that means it's beyond what is required. So when it goes beyond 80, this one, when it goes beyond 80, that means we have to close the telescope until when the humidity reduces. Let me show you how the telescope is closed. Hey you guys, it's now at 4:09. This is the time that the weather conditions have become like unfavorable for the telescope, and I think the car leaves at 6 because I have to go back to the institute, and that means I have like 2 hours to sleep. And if the weather conditions become favorable again, I have to wake up before the sun comes up to finish my observation. So there is a beautiful room that has 2 beds. So this is my bed, and yeah, I'm going to sleep a little bit as I wait for the next day or the next day of observation. So bye guys, signing out for now. Stay safe and take care. Bye.